Welcome back to another episode of Show Up with Salwa. And today I have on a guest who I'm so curious to learn all about. She is a TikTok friend of mine. Her name is Hanna, and she has an amazing jewelry business. Welcome, Hanna.
Thank you.
How
Thanks for
are
having
you?
me.
Amazing. I'm actually very excited to talk to you because I've been following you on TikTok for about 3 months. This podcast is all about inspiring women to show up for themselves and could be a lot of ways, and social media is one of them. So we want to dive a little deeper into your journey of business and what got you started into your beautiful jewelry business.
Okay, so I actually only launched in February, but I've been working behind the scenes on the business for a long time, obviously preparing the product and finding the perfect product and all of that. So it's a very new business. I've only just showed up on social media a few
That's
months
awesome.
ago, which is scary. But now we're here. So it's going well, apart from the fact that there's a war going on
I know,
and that changed
unfortunate,
everything.
yeah.
But other than that, to start the business, basically the idea behind it was that first of all, I'm from East London in the UK, and
Okay.
I love chunky gold jewelry. It's always been like a thing of mine.
Yeah.
I love streetwear and that kind of thing, as you can see.
I love that.
So that's just how I grew up, and I've always wanted to create something. I'm a very creative person. My parents owned like a jewelry business in London, so I've always had that like inspiration from there.
love
My mum
that.
creates jewelry from like semi-precious stones and things
Oh,
like
wow.
that. And so I just wanted to like share my love of gold jewelry and chunky jewelry with the world, basically. And so now I'm here.
That's amazing. And you were designing these pieces all by yourself.
So I design the pieces by myself. So you won't find these pieces anywhere else. They're completely bespoke, and and they all represent something quite important to me. It's about being a third culture kid. There's no jewelry I feel that represents that balance between two worlds. So a
Yeah.
third culture kid is basically when someone is born in one place,
Yeah.
or their parents are from one place and then they've moved to another place, or they were born in another place. So they're balancing like their traditional heritage from their parents with a very modern westernized lifestyle. It's usually at my generation, and then everyone's generation these days is
Correct.
balancing two worlds, right?
Absolutely.
A range of cultures. So I just wanted to reflect that within my jewelry pieces. So you'll see in the collection that there's like cultural elements to it, but there's also a lot of modern street sort of vibe, lifestyle
Love that.
pieces. So
Yeah, that can be really hard, with our generation because it's hard to connect to just one aspect of us. We're so much more than that. My parents are from Pakistan, but I grew up in Saudi Arabia. Then the last 22 years were in Canada. And coming to Dubai, it feels like it's accepted, it's okay because everybody is like me.
Everybody's like
So
that,
what are
yeah.
your three cultures that you're balancing?
So my father is actually from Kenya. So he was born
East
and raised in
Africa.
Kenya.
Yeah.
My mum was actually born in Malaysia, but she's originally from Pakistan.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So and then they met in the UK, and then we were born in the UK, and and we're Muslim as well. So it's like always balancing that sort of idea of religion, different cultures. Like my dad's very liberal. His Islamic background is very liberal. My mum's is more strict, as you
Wow,
would say.
yeah.
And so it was always sort of like, where do we go with our religion or with our
Yeah.
culture? And then growing up in the UK, everything was so westernized, and it was always trying to find that balance. Do you lead a double life? How open do you be with your parents? Like it was always like that growing up, and it still happens today with with younger generation.
Definitely.
So I think it's an important aspect that we never really talk about.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are just forced to assimilate, but nobody actually dives deeper into the internal dialogue that goes on when you're trying to assimilate. I still sometimes, struggle with my identity being in Dubai, like in Toronto. It was hard for me to own the Muslim part of me because growing up in Saudi Arabia, we would say a lot of like, inshallah, mashallah. That was such a normal part of our dialogue. But then when I came to Toronto, it was not very like accepted, or maybe it was just a limiting belief that I thought they're going to look at me differently. And now I'm in Dubai and it's like, I can say whatever I feel like saying. In fact, it's even more appropriate for the non-Muslims to even use a lot of these
100%,
words, right?
Yeah,
So
100%. It was opposite with me growing up. No one ever said it. As I said, my parents are very liberal and things, and we didn't use it a lot in the house.
Yeah.
And then once I got married, my husband's not like super religious, but his family are
Yeah.
more religious, and they always use that in their language. And so like I was like, oh, you know, it's very different from me to have to,
Yeah.
to try and say it to please them, sort of thing.
That's
But
true.
now it's become like such a part of me to say it, just because of the belief that it's
Absolutely.
important to say it.
For
So
sure.
yeah, everything's changed in that aspect for me. And yeah, like you said, Dubai is such a free place where you feel like you can be yourself,
Correct.
say what you want,
Yeah.
and everyone's so different that nobody will get judged.
I love that.
Yeah,
I
I
love
love
that
it.
about this city. How long have you been in Dubai?
I've been here around 9 years now,
Oh, that's amazing.
coming up to 10 years.
Wow, it's only
Yeah.
been almost 2 years for me. It's going to be 2 years in
Oh,
November.
wow,
Yeah,
okay.
I
You're a
still feel,
newbie.
still feel like a newbie. Yeah, but you know what? I love the aspect of business in Dubai. Like there is a very electric energy that is contagious. Everybody that comes to Dubai is going after their dreams, their beliefs, their businesses, and I see that in you as well. Like you embody that contagious energy, and it can't be easy for everybody to just show up on social media. But you've been showing up, sharing your journey with everybody, and very openly. You're even sharing like what it takes to have a jewelry business, and you're even giving tips on how to start your own. I find that really, really interesting. So tell me how you got into that. How did you force yourself to come on camera and share your journey?
Well, if you'd asked me like a few years ago that you'd be showing yourself up on TikTok, I would have said, hell no, like no way would I be on TikTok. But I find that you do what it takes to basically grow your business. And one of the things these days with all the AI generated content and all these things going on, you need to show up as a human, and I think that's really important to grow your business. I've watched a lot of podcasts on entrepreneurs and things like that, and I've learned so much
Yeah.
from people, and that is the one thing that it always comes back to. It's like show up as a human. People buy from other people
Yeah.
trust other people. So I just had to put myself out there. And you know, at the beginning it was really hard. I'm a very private person. Before TikTok, I never really posted anything about my life on Facebook or Instagram or anything like
Wow.
that. I just don't feel the need to. I just don't. So putting myself out there on TikTok, at first it was so cringe, and I kept telling my husband like this is just so. I wouldn't even let him watch my videos. I told all my family not to follow me. I didn't tell them anyone that I had an account because I was so embarrassed
shy
with the cringe. But as soon as you start doing it, and I think that the overwhelming like support that you start getting online, especially TikTok,
Yeah.
you start feeling really good about it, and you're like, oh, actually, this person said that they want to follow my journey, or they're really excited to see what happens next. Or I get comments or messages about like, could you tell us more about how you started your business? And people are sort of looking up to you.
Correct.
And you're helping people, and you're like, this can be addictive in a way. So it actually got easier and easier. The cringe became less and less. So if there's anyone out there like thinking of starting founder content or anything like that, I would say just go for it, and
Yeah.
just do what I did. Don't tell anyone at the beginning. Just start posting, and as you get more confident, you can grow, and you can tell more people about it. So-
Absolutely. And I think another thing that a lot of women especially go through is they feel like they need to look perfect for the camera, but the content that people actually appreciate, admire, and connect with are the people that can be raw, right? You can't every day have like hair and makeup done to show up on camera. And that's what makes it so relatable, that you're just being yourself.
Oh yeah. Well, you
And-
know, there's something called filters. So you know
I love
what?
filters.
You know, the beauty filter on TikTok is my
Love the
best
beauty
friend.
filter,
So
yeah.
like, they hides all your wrinkles and all of that.
You don't have any.
Yeah, I do. And so when I to use the reverse camera to use the beauty
Yeah,
filter,
yeah.
like I feel much more confident, and that's okay. And I feel like it shouldn't be. I know people say, oh, you know, you shouldn't care about what you look like, beauty standards and all these things. But if you feel more comfortable that way in front of the
Yeah.
camera, why not? I've
Absolutely.
seen the biggest influencers using actual filters where it comes up on TikTok, where you
Correct.
can see the filter that they've used, and there's
Yeah.
nothing to hide.
Yeah,
or
I
be
do that
ashamed.
on
Yeah.
Instagram all the time because that's how I want to show up, you know?
Yeah, and you can wear like little to no makeup and still look good on camera,
Absolutely.
and I don't see anything wrong with that. So I'm a big believer in just do what makes you feel comfortable, especially at the
Absolutely.
beginning. And after that, you might feel more comfortable in your own skin. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Love
So
that.
go for it.
Now, when it comes to makeup, clothes, etc., I mean, since your business is a jewelry business, do you have any, tips for people that are struggling to get out of a rut? If they were to convince themselves to dress up, what would be the first couple of things you would ask them to do to get out of their rut, so to say?
In terms of what they wear and how they look.
Yeah, changing their attitude by dressing up.
So I would say I've always been a person because my mum's like that. She's always been one of those people that's like, get up in the morning and get dressed and put some makeup on. Sometimes I'm like, Mum, I just don't feel like wearing makeup. She's like, no, put makeup on. And I'm like,
wow.
Okay. So, and I've always been that kind of person where you just have to show up looking and feeling your best. And, if you're comfortable without makeup, I'm not saying wear makeup. Like, obviously, you do what makes you feel comfortable. So when I say that, I feel like looking good really sets the tone for becoming a business owner or someone successful. I don't mean that you have to wear makeup or you have to wear certain clothes, but do what makes you feel your best.
Your best self.
Your best.
Yeah.
So what makes me feel my best is putting makeup on, just looking presentable. And it doesn't have to be really certain clothing or designer clothing, but just what makes you feel good. And so it's the same. You have to sort of train your mind by starting with your body first. I feel like it's like showing up to work and having a really messy desk and your room is really messy. I feel like you can't sort of focus on what you need to do if you're not in the right environment. And I feel like it's the same with your body. Absolutely. So if you want your mind to be able to be focused, you need to feel your best self inside, whether that be focusing on your mental health or going to the gym or putting on some nice clothes or putting on some makeup. Whatever makes you feel your best self is like your starting point before you start your business, because you need to go into a room and feel confident. You can't go into a room and feel worried about what you look like or worried about how you feel.
Yeah. And I think it's all about finding out what clothes make you feel your best self, right? Like everybody has a different style. And I think a lot of times growing up, we would get stuck in what the world feels is looking good. Like my sister always wanted to wear clothes that were more, casual, but that made her feel so comfortable. She would put on a baseball hat a lot of times, and that made her feel comfortable. A lot of my friends wanted to be a little bit more girly, for example, or preppy. And I think being in a city like Dubai, and I'm sure even in East London, there was that freedom in choosing what you want to wear. But culturally, there's a big difference in what they feel is.
Oh, so growing up in East London, it was more about baggy streetwear and stuff like that. And I've always been a fan of that kind of clothing, and that shows today. Even I feel a bit paranoid that, I'm dressing very young for my age and things like that. But that's just part of me. I don't think I'm ever going to stop that. I don't think I'm ever going to stop wearing chunky gold jewelry until I'm in my 70s. That's just how I feel. So.
And I think you have children, right?
I have 2 children.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So your children probably see you owning your style, and that gives them the confidence to own their own style too.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's my son, my older son, he's 8, and he's always choosing his own clothes.
I love that.
Yeah.
When it comes to, difficult days, as, we all know entrepreneurial journeys can be really tough. Do you feel like being on social media gives you some kind of support on the days that you're really down, or you need to have a support system outside of your social media to give you that support?
I honestly feel like TikTok changed everything for me. Before that, I don't know, one of my recent posts I spoke about this, about building a community. You can't build a community when you have nobody. Most business owners are doing this completely by themselves. You see all these aesthetic things online with girls that have little teams of people, and they go and get their matchas and they go to their aesthetic offices and things, and they make cute girly TikToks and stuff. It's not like that for most people. The reality of it is you're doing it yourself, right?
With a tripod. Yep,
with a tripod. And you feel alone, and it's a very lonely place to be when you first start, because you don't know what you're doing. And honestly, since I started making my TikTok founder content, I feel like that helped me so much, because the TikTok community, especially the girls in Dubai, I've never felt support like that before.
I love that.
And I started making friends, not even just to do with business, just just making friends in a community, that all these like-minded people are doing the same thing as you. They're in the same position as you. I mean, I had my launch in February, and I didn't know anyone before that to invite to my launch. Like, you know, I have
love
like
that.
friends here, but I wanted people to come that were sort of like-minded people like me, and were interested in jewelry, or were interested in launching their own business, or influencers and things like that. And literally when I started TikTok at the right time and made so many friends, and they all came to support, and there was nothing that they wanted in return. They just came to support.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I really think the TikTok community helped me a lot.
And for people that are looking to start their own business, you know, just like you, what will be the top 3 things you would tell them to do to just get started?
Oh, okay. The top 3 things. I would say number 1 would be to prepare in terms of everything. So prepare your body, get into shape if you want to get into shape, or, you know, feel your best self. Prepare your mind. So listen to loads of podcasts with, you know, entrepreneurs and things like that, and see what they did to start, and see how they grew from the beginning. To prepare and know what the journey is going to be about. And do your research in terms of your product as well. So that definitely start with preparation, 100%. And then after that, I would say, you know, to find the right manufacturer is very important. Get samples, because if you don't get samples, you're going to end up getting excited about a product. They might sell you something and you'll pay full price for it and get it, and it won't be what you want.
Oh no.
So make sure that you are getting samples. And even if you have to pay, you know, more for the samples, it's definitely worth it, because once you have the perfect product, you'll know. And then once you have the perfect product, I would say really work on your branding and before you start, because I'm still struggling with this. They say, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people online say it's not about the logo. You can't just start a business and think it's about the logo and it's about the colours. That's just not important. But it really is important. I feel like it's really important.
Yeah.
You need to have a strong brand presence before you start anything, because people will not buy a product if they are confused by what it is that you represent.
Wow.
And things like colours and fonts and strong brand presence, you know, in your images, you have to stick to it and be consistent with it for them to get an idea of what you're about.
Yeah.
Because if you're confused by it, they're definitely going to be confused by it, and you're not going to sell a product. So brand presence, I'd say, is number 3.
I love that, but also it's an evolving process. So I feel like a lot of people, when they want to start a business, they get stuck in the analysis paralysis. So you have already started, and then you will fine-tune some things if need be. And that shouldn't be a reason to not launch, which is amazing. But when it came to actually advertising yourselves to friends and family, how did that go? Because I feel like a lot of people get more support from strangers sometimes
100%.
than with friends and family.
100%.
Was that your experience?
Yeah, that's my experience. Yeah, I would say like, I still haven't told people.
Oh my God.
I still haven't told, like I've told my mum, don't comment on my stuff, because if you start commenting on my stuff, then other family members will see it and all of that. So until I feel like I'm successful in my eyes, I'd be happy to willingly to share, and that's just a personal preference. That doesn't mean that anyone else has to feel like that. Some people's friends and family are super supportive, and they're the number 1 fans, and they help them grow. And you know, my family would help me grow, but I just feel more comfortable talking to strangers than I do with, like, it's like having a room full of people that you don't know, and then a room full of people that you do know. You just feel more comfortable talking to people that you don't know.
Very interesting how that happens.
So that's how I feel comfortable. And you know, people know that I'm doing it, of course, but people in terms of my whole list of Facebook friends, for example, they would never know until someone finds me on a podcast.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. Maybe I'll push your podcast out extensively to East London.
Please don't.
I think there is this thing called a visibility block. Do you do any kind of energy work or dabble in that kind of thing?
Do you know, I'm spiritual in the sense that I believe in, like, the universe will show you signs and give you what you want, and angels and things like that. But I don't sort of practice anything as such. I just go with the flow. And if I see something I feel like is a sign, then I'll go with that. Yeah, but I don't like go into it in detail. But yeah, tell me about it.
I think what I see in you is because, like, the way I see you, right? Like, I'm as an outsider looking in. I found you on TikTok. The way I look at you is you have accomplished a lot in this aspect of entrepreneurialism, where not only do you have an amazing product that you figured out the logistics of, you know, shipping, manufacturing, creating, whatever, but you're also creating content, founder content that is really connecting with people. But the way you see yourself is you want to get to a certain level before you tell your friends and family. So I do a lot of energy work, so I'm seeing there might be like a block of visibility and fame where you outwardly you are like, yeah, I want to be famous, I want to grow my brand, but there is subconsciously there is a block that makes you not want to be visible. And a lot of women go through that, especially with like a South Asian background. I don't know what it is about our upbringing. And I think the thing that gives you the most fear, that makes you feel the most like, ooh, I don't know if I want to show up on my friends' Facebooks. I think that's the thing we need the most to grow spiritually.
Definitely.
So,
and do you know what I am? First of all, I want this message to be, you know, very important for all the introverts out there. I am an introvert. You know, I don't really like, you know, speaking like in front of, and do you know what's funny? I'm a teacher. I'm actually a teacher.
oh wow.
So I trained in teaching. I'm teaching for like the last 10 years, and I can happily sit and speak in front of a class of kids. But when it comes to showing up online and talking to the camera, I just find there is a block there for sure.
Yeah.
But I've just never wanted the attention. I don't want to be famous, but I'm doing this purely
For your business.
for my business. And you do have to sacrifice things for your business.
Because
you
your
know.
business
But
is also kind of your baby.
Exactly, yeah. And I am enjoying it, don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm forcing myself to
Yeah.
do it. I'm enjoying it as it goes on. And it's giving me more confidence, for sure. But it's not something that I've ever wanted to do. And I even, at my wedding, like I didn't even do a first dance.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I said to my husband, I'm not doing
Oh
a
my
first
God.
dance, because I just, the idea that all these eyes are on me, slow dancing
Worries
with
you.
someone, just makes me cringe.
Aw.
So yeah. So, you know, I'm trying my best, but I do feel like this is a very important message, that even if you're an introvert, even if you don't like attention, I feel like you should just put yourself out there, and if you're comfortable with it and you're enjoying it, just carry on. But it's not something, I don't want to see myself as like famous. I just want to be successful in my own way. And
Correct.
for me to be successful, it's like sharing my creativity and my product with the world. I want to see people wearing my pieces. That, in my eyes, is success.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think that if the friends and family eventually do end up finding you, they might even surprise you with all the support they're willing to give.
Yeah, and so be it. And they probably will after this.
Yeah,
I
I hope so. I'm gonna make it go viral. But can you give me an example of a time where, you know, you were having a bad day, and even though you were having a bad day, you decided to get up, dress up, and show up for yourself, and how that changed the trajectory of your day?
Well, funny you should say that, because this war that's impacted the UAE, I found myself in like a very dark place, like recently. It's getting better now, obviously things are hopefully getting back to normal. But during that time, it felt like COVID again, it felt like a lockdown. And so it just brought back this like PTSD, like just trauma, you know, from before. And
PTSD.
I was like, oh, PTSD, that's it. So I was really, really sad, because a lot of people don't know this, but I had a business before this business, and it was an events business.
Okay.
And so I set up little afternoon teas. Then you come to someone's house. I set it up in someone's house. So I come and I set up all of the decor and the food and everything, and it was really pretty, and it went really well in Dubai, like really, really well. And I found myself growing very quickly on Instagram. I
could imagine.
And people loved it. And so all I would do is like go to an event, do the event, take the pictures, post it on Instagram, and then another person would contact me for another event. And it was quite easy to grow an events business. However, just launched that was going well for about 6 months, and then COVID happened. And there was no sort of social gatherings or anything like that. And I was like, oh no, that's it now, my business is done. So I obviously had to stop for a while. And then as the COVID like sort of died down, I started up again, and things were going okay. And then the second wave hit, and again there was no social gatherings, and so I kind of like gave up hope, and I was just like, this is just not going anywhere. And the reason that I was upset recently is because like I just launched this business, and I was like, you know, it's going really well, people are showing interest, people are loving the product, and then this war happens, and I only just launched in February, and it was like You know,
Ooh.
there was no shipping happening, and yeah, everything just went downhill. And I think I was just like, why is this happening to me? Like, why is it every time I try and do something, it starts off really well, and the world has to, you know,
It's a
the world,
test.
it's a test. Yeah, it's a test. And you know what? If there's one thing I learned from the last time is not to give up. In fact, work harder when these things happen. Work through these things, and things will get easier and better. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so I'm just, you know, carrying on. Because the one thing between successful people and people who are not successful is the ones that carry on, the
Yeah,
ones that keep showing up.
absolutely.
So that's what I'm trying to do.
I love
So,
that.
yeah.
And I think that with exposure on social media, there is opportunities for you to expand your brand to other parts of the world. Is that part of the plan, other than the GCC countries, or it's already?
Oh yeah, no, 100%
Love
is
that.
to expand. Like what I see, envision with my charms
Mm-hmm.
are that basically I want to create charms for every person that can relate to something.
Yeah.
So I'm starting in the GCC region, and I have like charms that represent the culture here.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, there's something for everyone. So,
Yeah.
for example, you get the dirham coin is representing the UAE, especially now in these times.
Yeah.
And then you've got some like influence from, you know, Arabic culture as well. So we've got the Palestine charm that represents Palestine and what's happening there.
Yeah.
I'm also in the process of creating like a Lebanese cedar tree and things like that. But they're also pieces that they don't have to represent Lebanon. Like the tree could represent nature, could represent
Yeah.
life,
Whatever it
growth,
could mean to you.
whatever
Yeah.
it could mean to you. But there's cultural elements within the charms. So
And
that's the whole
what
point.
you're wearing right now means something to you.
So this is like street culture,
Love
you know,
that.
like it's called Run This Town. So basically it's for all the, you know, the hustlers that sort of are on their feet, on the grind, trying to represent something, trying to like sort of build something.
Love
And
that.
obviously street culture as well. So that's what it represents. But you could find meaning in any way. If you're athletic, for example, if you're a runner, you could find meaning in this.
Yeah.
So
Or people that
yeah,
are just.
so they're open, but
Yeah.
I want them to represent, you know, all different cultures eventually and all different aspects of life. So definitely looking to expand, but focusing on one region first.
So if the audience is interested, where can they find you and your product? Just share your website, etc.
Yeah, so I have edgy.ae, which
Okay.
is the website.
We'll put it in the show notes so you guys can find it.
So I'm currently, it's just being built at the moment, but it's almost done. So within a few days it will be on live.
Yay.
And then we've got Edgy Official, which is my TikTok founder page and
Mhm.
also my Instagram portfolio.
Beautiful.
So yeah, if you want to
Love
find me,
that.
you can find me there.
And what are your top sellers right now in the GCC
Do you know what?
region?
It's not what you would think. Like when you
Yeah.
create a piece, like a line of products, you think that you know what's
Yeah.
going to be the bestseller. But
Yeah.
my bestseller is actually the money bag charm, which is something I never would have thought. So it's like a fully pavé, like all the hand stones are set by hand, and it's all made with CZ stones, and it's a little money bag, and it just represents like the hustle culture. So
I want to get that one.
yes,
I'm going to look for
manifesting
that
money,
one. Yes.
manifesting. So all the products are made. They fall into the demi-fine category. So I found like a huge gap in the market for charms. I hate the word charms because when you think of charms, you think of like lightweight, generic,
Correct.
mass-produced
Very light on
charms.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Lightweight
Like the
and
Pandora
just,
bracelet ones.
Yeah, Pandora style, and I just that's just not it. But they are charms because you can
So
wear
this
them
is a
anywhere.
charm.
This
Okay,
is a
yeah,
charm.
this is
So you can
nothing like
wear
a
it as
delicate one. It's
pendant.
beautiful.
You can wear it as a bracelet. You can wear it on your anklet. You can wear it on a belly chain,
true,
on your
yeah.
bag, on your shoes.
On my
Because the
bag,
clasp
exactly.
is like big enough to put on bags and things like
Oh,
that.
that's right. So you
Yeah.
put it on the chain. But
I put it
can-
on the chain, but you don't have to wear it on a chain.
Amazing.
So they're very versatile. So they fall into demi-fine category because charms are not demi-fine. They're flash plated. They're
Right.
costume jewelry. So I wanted to create something that holds some value. So these are things that you can actually pass down from generation to
Yeah,
generation because
I
they're
love
made
that.
from brass as a base metal,
Mhm, mhm.
and they're plated with a very, very thick layer of 18 karat gold,
Beautiful.
which is recycled gold, so they're also sustainable. And these are like pieces that hold value, especially now. So yeah, so even antique, like over time, after years and years and years of wear, they still would look really antique and beautiful.
Yeah, they look beautiful. And also, like in our culture, the South Asian culture, buying gold has always been such a great investment strategy. So you feel good about buying something like this because
Exactly.
you're not just buying costume
No,
jewelry.
and even after, like, if it does fade after years, people tell you that it's never going to fade. That's just nonsense.
Lies, yeah.
Lies. So even if it does fade after years, brass is a really good material to use because it looks so beautiful and antique, and you can
Yeah.
also even get them replated.
Exactly.
So these are, so they're very, very, like, they're durable.
I like that.
Yeah. And they're heavy, and they you can feel the quality when you see them. So
I love that. Now, what I'm doing in my podcast episodes going forward is the last couple of minutes, I want it to be like a vision board or a manifesting form for you.
I love
So, in the next 12 months, what do you envision your business to be? Let's manifest.
in the next 12 months, I want more visibility, a lot more visibility. Hopefully something can go viral on Instagram. I need more followers on Instagram. TikTok, I find it very easy to grow. Instagram, I want something to go viral and something to hit on Instagram. So that's my goal. So I'm working more towards that, really finding my feet in terms of my exact branding and exact positioning for the brand. So after that, I definitely want, I'm in the works of a new collection, so that should
Love
be
that.
released soon. I've got like a few that I don't want to talk about, but there's like a little matcha charm coming.
That's so Dubai.
It's so Dubai, and the cultural element will be that matcha will be written in Arabic.
Ah.
So there's a bit of cross culture there with like modern life and culture.
I love that.
So it's really cute. Can't wait for everyone to see it. So new designs, definitely. And eventually I want to customize charms for people. So if there's like a celebrity that comes to me and says, I want a custom charm,
I love
and
that.
I want it to represent this and this and this, I'll design it for them and do collaborations that way. And a lot more collaborations as well, and a lot more sales.
I love that. You know what? We'll bring her back on at the 6-month, the 12-month mark,
12
and we'll
months,
see how
yeah.
you're doing. Well, I had
See.
so much fun talking to you, and I hope you guys did too. We will put Hannah's contact information for her jewelry, for her website, and also her Instagram and TikTok. So please follow her. And remember, no matter how you feel, get up, dress up, and show up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.